The year is 2011. We're seeing all sorts of awful or just simply plain mid tie-in video games to huge franchises. The Thor God of Thunder movie video game, Captain America Super Soldier, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Hey, even Spider-Man The Edge of Time, the follow-up to the beloved Shattered Dimensions, flattered to deceive. But along came Rocksteady Studios with the follow-up to arguably the most refined superhero game to exist in Batman Arkham Asylum. Just 2 years later, it was a really short time span. An open world Batman video game, bigger and better in every way from its predecessor. Batman Arkham City to me is still the pinnacle of superhero games. Its engrossing main path with just unexpected twists and turns. This Arkham City that is built with just puzzle and deception, and the side quests that are also unique but fulfilling and purposeful. Arkham City is not only a perfect superhero game, but it nailed the fundamental understanding of the Batman with an identity that is owned to Rocksteady Studios. I really think that Arkham City is lightning in a bottle. From just the opening moments where the intro comes in and Hugo Strange is talking to you, how he knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. I mean, wow. I remember my jaw just dropping. The big secret, one of the biggest aspects of the Batman mythos, is just undercut like that and revealed. Arkham City is like the perfect jigsaw, and just like almost every Rocksteady, it's ahead of its time. So, let's talk about my favourite entry in the Arkhamverse in today's Rocksteady Revisit. I think the first area I need to highlight is its side missions. I think here is what makes it stand out from every other entry, including the Spider-Man games too. Every side mission has a purpose to it, a satisfying outcome, but probably most importantly, variety. You'll never feel like two missions are the exact same thing. Whether it be scanning the dead victims from Hush's murders, tracing where Deadshot fired from, or exploring the mad world of the Mad Hatter. I think too, where they leave some of these side missions at that time was so exciting, so exciting. I think of two that stand out the most to me. First, let's talk about Hush. I was not at all familiar with this character. I knew of Hush, but not the fact that it was Thomas Elliot. Not only that, but at the end of the quest chain, when you see yourself, when you see Bruce Wayne, the exact face, I was taken aback. You then think like the possibilities of where that can go, or should I say could have gone, in future Arkham titles. Whilst they never quite made it feel significant in Arkham Knight, I just remember thinking, you are Bruce Wayne. You've basically got the keys to the city. And the end of that side mission just felt so exciting, especially when you didn't know where it was going to lead up to. The other side mission is, of course, Azrael. Now, whilst I knew a little bit about Hush, I knew nothing of this character. The fact that this game starts off and you can see him standing over, watching you as you enter Arkham City, is a really nice little Easter egg, really nice little touch, but the way his side mission and the way that ends, the amount of theories that I watched as a kid just trying to uncover what his message meant, who he is, what's he coming for, it was just riveting, it really was. Trying to think about who he might be talking about, what it might mean, and whilst again, just like Hush, his payoff in Night wasn't quite as remarkable as that side quest went, at the time, it was unmatched. But all these side missions, man, Deadshot taking out people, figuring out who he might try and get next, Bane and carrying on the plot thread of Titan from Asylum, those lovely little campfire chats with Zaz, Riddler and his hostages, and then bloody Riddler trophies, don't get me started. Obviously, there's more, but I think City did side missions best, in terms of variety of what you're doing in those missions, how it ends, and the payoffs you get from them. Spider-Man 2 and Arkham Knight, they do come close, but I just think City has an edge on them, I really do. Alright then, the main story of this game. How many villains do you want? But let me tell you why it works. Every villain, every character that you meet in this main quest, they have a purpose to serve. Two-Face basically introduces you to the city. Hugo Strange makes you second guess everything. And the Joker as well, he's just flat out the Joker, making even the world's greatest detective get it wrong. I could go on, but it's not just, hey, here's this character. They're here. In the context of the main story, everyone who shows up has a part to play. This including, of course, Catwoman. You play as her through the story. In fact, they open the game and tease it to be the Bat entering this room full of two-faced thugs. only to pull one on you, and you're playing as Catwoman. And well, she plays really well. Whilst it's obviously not quite as fleshed out as the Bat, she's every bit as fun, feeling more nifty and athletic and swift. She plays a little bit differently even though the main mechanics are the same. I've really enjoyed her moments in the game, but I think what's outstanding about Rocksteady, that this is an experienced Batman, right? But the way these characters interact, that within 20 seconds of them talking, you understand this relationship between them, the history between them. You don't need no 20-minute exposition on each character's history with Batman. It's just world class from Rocksteady. This story, there's so much to talk about in it, it really is. But before I do, one thing I mentioned in my Arkham Asylum video is that the boss battles in that game felt a little bit weak. City was a step up, and it includes one of my favourite boss battles in video games, period. The Mr. Freeze boss fight, it really makes you think and act like Batman. There's no mindless beating up or dodge until he's vulnerable. You have to use every available advantage in that room to take him out. Powering up the generators, attacking from above or below, electrifying water. It takes the Predator system of the Arkham games and just dials it up to maximum. Once you've used a certain takedown technique, Freeze then adapts, and that method of attack in that room, you have to adapt again and you can no longer use that. It's really, really brilliant. And no matter how many times I play through this game now, I never get bored of it. The old cliche of it makes you feel like the Batman, but in this case, it really, really does, because you have to think like him too. And that's not the only boss fight that felt a step up. The final encounter with Clayface being this tactical positioning game and dodging, your encounter with Ra's al Ghul and how that explored fighting both minions and the boss at once, taking on Solomon Grundy and working out how to limit his power. The boss fights here are just some of my favourite in the series, because they're not all just like one-on-one straight up brawling, because it's the detective side of the Bat, and that's what rules. So, pivoting back to this main story then, a race against time having been infected with the Joker's blood. Being a big DC fan, I absolutely love it. Anything involving the League of Assassins is brilliant. So when Ra's is first mentioned, I get so excited, tracking them down to the hideout in Wonder City, taking the trials, then deceiving Ra's. It was just so cool to see in a video game for the first time. But then to find out that Hugo Strange's boss was Ra's all along was brilliant, and it made perfect sense. But that's also what's great. I don't think there's one sole antagonist in this game. I think you could argue who you think is the true one. Is it Ra's? Is it Strange? Or is it of course the Joker? I think one of the best moments in the game comes around the execution of Protocol 10. As you're leaving the vault with Catwoman, you have this choice. And also, nice little feature from Rocksteady here, there's a green line and a red line. The green line is the way you should go, the red is the way you shouldn't. Just thought that was pretty neat. Anyway, I went the wrong way the first time just to see what happened. And I love that the alternative ending that it hinted at the time. Seeing Gotham burning and just hearing all the chaos going on. It was amazing. But when you do make the right decision, when he's saved by Catwoman, and the reveal of what Protocol 10 really is, it is horrifying. Despite it being the murder of thousands of inmates who are of course the dark side of Gotham who have done all this wrong, they're still human. Batman has to save all these people that have messed up in Gotham, that have been the burden that he's been carrying for so long. He has to save all these people who have done nothing but wrong and harm to Gotham. It's just so brilliantly Batman. From the score that plays, to the destruction of Arkham City, and hearing the casualty reports, to what feels like everyone in Gotham is just watching from the sidelines while all these inmates are killed. This of course then leads to the reveal of Strange's boss, who promised him the world but then ultimately betrays him, and then it's pretty funny because Strange then betrays him. Ra's then tries to obviously kill the Batman but ultimately ended himself. The thing I like about this though is that all this is going on, and it makes you entirely forget that the Joker's got Talia, and he's locked himself away somewhere, and you just forget about it until he then flashes up on the screen after you've seen Ra's take the fall and die. It's just brilliant. It really is. At this point you feel like you've seen it all. But even the Joker can fool the greatest detective. And it's fantastic how Rocksteady laid all the clues right there for you to see. That it was the Joker being impersonated by Clayface all along. The realization from Batman is brilliant. But like right now, I get sad thinking about it. The way that Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill just go at it in these games, the range in performance, the fact that we're never going to get it again, it makes me sad. But it's like Batman and Robin, them two, together, they are that dynamic. I don't think the Arkhamverse would have felt so strong in its main narrative without them. I'm really going to miss Kevin, and I do think it feels right that Mark Hamill saying that he wouldn't do it ever again without them. They really were the dynamic duo. Of course, though, we have to talk about that ending. In the attempt to get the cure from Batman, Joker stabs him, meaning he loses the cure. But the writing. You want to know something funny? Even after everything you've done, I still would have saved you. And then the Joker laughing in his final moments after Batman says that to him. It is outstanding. Like, at the time, my jaw was on the floor. I just could not believe they'd killed the Joker. Then the way Batman carries his body out in this like godlike manner, being unable to speak while Jim frantically tries to ask him like what happened in there. It is a true 10 out of 10 ending. It really is. Also, he just left Talia there, man. I mean, fair enough, man. Fair enough. But again, that just highlights this whole Batman Joker dynamic. That even after everything he'd done, all this pain and misery that he caused, he still would have saved him. So, that's the story. But what about the gameplay? Well, this is the one where Rocksteady nailed it. This is the one where free flow combat was perfected. The zip between characters as you bounced around enemy to enemy, the way it felt crunchier, and you could use quick gadgets, more enemy takedowns, more enemy variety. The combat was just a huge step up from Asylum. It's that thing of like, once you really master it, it feels exceptional to play. It's a rhythm beat 'em up at the end of the game. The way gadgets could now be quickly entwined with your combos added that extra depth. The ability to disarm enemies or do multiple grounded takedowns at once, or even the ability to power up some gadgets once you reached a certain combo threshold. It was this game that would be the bedrock of free flow melee combat that many would go on to try and emulate, including the recent Insomniac games which I think have came the closest, but even they put their own unique spin on it with Spider-Man 2. Again too, just like in Asylum, the Predator system is here, and the way that enemies again adapt is improved upon here. I need to remind you, because it still blows my mind, Arkham City came out 2 years after Asylum. 2. The level of improvement in that span of time is nothing short of phenomenal. Talking of Arkham City, this world, I mean, it is its own thing. Arkham City, we know about Gotham, we know about Asylum, but this was Rocksteady's own design, own making, and it just feels so perfect, so suited to the Arkhamverse. There is so much DC world building, so many Easter eggs, whether that be the DC characters mentioned in passing, or riddles that you have to solve, not to mention the secrets that you can find. I mean, the main plotline of Arkham Knight can be found in a secret bunker under a ship, alluding to what the Scarecrow has planned. This is what makes Rocksteady so good. Wonder City being built right under all the different enemy factions. Had you not known, you would just think that Rocksteady had taken inspiration from another source. But this is their design, their creation. Everything in Arkham City was bigger and better, but in the right manner. A true successor of a sequel that not only evolved the main game, but also post-launch. We've got Harley's Revenge DLC, which gave us our first ever taste of playing as Robin, which, by the way, I mean, come on, it's one of the best Robin designs we've ever seen, right? It was a DLC that was set after the main game, and just how City established, where he was at with so many characters. This DLC managed to establish that relationship with Robin within minutes. Not only that, but we've got the Nightwing DLC with Riddler's Revenge 2, and it was the first taste of playing with him there. It was also Rocksteady's first crack at alternative suits. I could just gush about this game forever, and who knows, maybe I'll do another Rocksteady revisit on this game because I just love it so much. But when I think of this game, I think of games that made me so invested in this industry. What makes it so special? What makes this media so incredible? What are the games that you'll tell the next generation about? Arkham City is absolutely one of them. It is still, without doubt, the greatest superhero game to be made. So, what are your memories of Arkham City? What's your favourite moment? Do you agree that it's the best one? If you're looking for more Arkham content, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button as we continue the revisit of the Arkham series on the lead up to Rocksteady's next adventure with Suicide Squad, alongside a ton of Suicide Squad coverage between now, launch, and everything beyond. If you enjoyed this video, drop a bat like, have a terrific day, and I'll catch you in the next one.